Hi, this is Chuck Gilmore with Power to Sing Live, and welcome to the broadcast today. This is Power to Sing Live number 43. 43 of these. And today we're going to be talking about exercises for pulled chest high larynx, and in particularly why they work. So I'd like to welcome everyone here and make sure that you can hear me and see me all right. So when you're on and you can hear and see, then please let me know in the chat. So that we can continue without anybody being left out. Oh, you can't see me, so let me just bring that in. Okay, now can you hear me and see me? Altu, very nice to see you again. We had a great lesson today, very enjoyable. Okay, so Altu, let me know if you can now see me. I received this, okay, I fixed it, so I should be coming on here pretty quick. I want to talk a bit about, okay, it's all right, great, now you can see and hear me. Hi everybody, Altu, Oz, Agnestino, and Shah, Zaib, Jordan, Karen, Joe. Nice to see everybody today. Now I had this very nice letter from a gentleman, and I wanted to share that with you, and it led me to want to talk a bit about the subject today. So let me read to you the nice little note that he sent, and so I can pull this up here. I should have had this all ready for us. If I can't find it, I'll just tell you about it. He said he started using the directions or the exercises for pulled chest high larynx, and he said, I started doing the pulled chest high larynx exercises about 2 weeks ago. Though through the days I saw small improvement day by day. All of a sudden, one day, said I wake up and I can magically sing higher than I used to, and being comfortable in all ranges that he wasn't before. Now I wanted to share that with you, and he said some other things there that I won't take time to talk about right now, but it led me to want to talk a bit about these pulled chest, the whole idea, first of all, the pulled chest high larynx. It's a vocal type, and for those of you who may be joining us for the first time, I don't know that we have anybody here that's new. I recognize Asa, nice to see you. Mohammed, nice to see you. Thanks for joining us today. Alessio, thanks for joining us. So this pulled chest high larynx, essentially, it's illustrated in this. When I was a teenager, I couldn't sing higher than the E above middle C. Most of you have heard this story before, but if I went that's the E. I knew that if I went any further, I would crack into falsetto, or I just had to yell, which I couldn't do very well. It would have been it would have been worse than the falsetto, and so I thought that was the top of my range. Truly, and the voice teacher that I had, this was in high school, and then I went on to college. I had a couple teachers there. They thought I could sing higher, but they didn't know how to get me any higher than that, and I thought they were crazy. And so, as I would sing higher, the larynx would come up, and also I'd pull up chest voice. Just higher and higher. So that's, in so many words, the pulled chest high larynx vocal type. So the astounding thing that I've learned is that it's not the top of my voice. I'm just reaching an area of the voice that there has to be, if I make appropriate adjustments in certain ways, that I can get through that area. And this is exactly the same thing for the women. The women's first bridge, typically about probably 95% of the women out there, they bridge at the A above middle C, up here. Ah, right there is where they start the bridge. I can't do that, so I'm not going to try it. But so you have the same experience at the A. A few women have that experience at the same place as the men's bridge that I'm describing, and they are the contraltos. They have the low voice that gets all the way down to D or low C, the C3, and so they'll bridge where the men tenor and baritones and some of the basses bridge. So but the point is, it's a bridge. It's not the top. Now, for the guys, it feels like the top. For the women, it just feels like there's a hole in the middle of their voice, because they definitely have to sing higher, because that's where all their songs are right there in that spot or a little bit higher, and they have a higher voice. They know they have, but finding that place without having to go on the falsetto, that's the hard part. So a lot of women struggle with this because they have to break to go that high, or they yell it up. And so it's not the top, it's just a transition area. It's a passage area. Passaggio, it's a passageway from your low voice, chest, to your high voice, head voice. So that middle area there for the women, or what seems like the top to the men, it's really a kind of a high middle area, is just a passageway. So the vocal exercises for pulled chest, high larynx are designed specifically to help us stop pulling, eliminate pulled chest, eliminate high larynx. So the exercises are to counteract those things. They're to reverse what we do there. So instead of saying, I allow the vowel to adjust. By adjusting the vowel or closing that, narrowing that vowel from to I can get through that. There's a few other things that have to happen too, but the adjustment of the vowel makes a huge difference. And so some of the exercises that we do also counteract this rising voice box, larynx, as it goes up. Because until we know how to do this, that's the only way we could do anything, is kind of like raise that larynx and like kind of scream it up or screech it up. It's interesting, I used to, I found a way to like kind of sing or yell in my head voice, but it was kind of compressed. And in a way, I was doing some things right, and I knew. So I knew there was this weird thing up there, but I didn't know what it was. And it sounded kind of like, I don't know. I don't want to blow out the microphone, but hey, hey. And so it was up there. It wasn't falsetto, and it wasn't yelled up chest, but it was pretty compressed head voice. Anyway. That's not part of the exercise. So why do these exercises work? There's two things that we use as tools that help counteract what we tend to do. So let's talk about the bratty nay, nay, nay for a second. Nay, 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 nay. Wait a minute, I just went up to the G above middle C. So why does that little bratty nay work? Well, it tends to lighten the chest. Nay, 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 nay. Nay, 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 nay. So that's a tool that we use on this nay, nay, nay to help us go where maybe we've never gone before. It counteracts the thick fullness of that chest voice by just doing that little bratty, witchy sound. Nay, nay, nay. Also, if we take the volume down, that counteracts our tendency to do it louder and harder, which thickens the vocal cord and makes it even harder to go up. So that bratty nay, nay, nay. Now here's another thing that maybe most of us are unaware of, but A is chesty, E is heady. Nay. So this is a brilliant combination of vowels that actually encourage us to brush through the chest area and go into head. Nay, 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 nay. What is that? It's not falsetto. It's not pulled up chest. So it's got to be a blend or a mix of those two. So now I'm connecting them. And that's the first step that we have to connect the bottom, chest, to the top, head, and that little bratty nay helps us do that. That's one reason why these things work and why this gentleman who emailed me said that just magically, like all of a sudden he could sing places he'd never sung before. This is one of the reasons why it works so well. The other is another tool that we use, which is kind of a dopey sound, duh. If you put your hand here on your Adam's apple, doesn't matter, the ladies, just smaller bump than ours, but that's where the vocal cords are, and said, duh. Watch my larynx drop. Duh, duh. Now if I just said duh, duh, it doesn't really move. But if I say duh, it really pulls it down. Duh. And so we add that dopey sound. It looks like I'm getting a lot of comments here, and I'll address as many questions as I can as soon as I'm done with this little presentation. But now if I say, instead of saying duh, say gee, gee, that gee is going to, dopey gee is going to help keep the larynx down. So if I said gee, 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 really stupid. Or if I'm working with the ladies, gee, 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 gee. It works the same way. Gee, 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 gee. Gee, 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 gee. Now I've done the same thing. I've connected chest to head without cracking or breaking or pulling or yelling it up. Now so there's a couple other things about that dopey sound. I've gone kind of quiet. Gee, 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 gee. And also, if I maintain that dopey sound or impose the larynx down a little bit, it goes hooty on the top. Gee, 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 gee. So you can hear that hooty sound versus gee, 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 gee. Then I've lost the low larynx. The high larynx is coming up, and it starts to get squeezed and compressed. So by using this tool of the dopey sound, that also helps us start to connect the bottom to the top, going through that passage area, that bridge, passaggio. We're able to get through that without pulling up the chest voice, without raising the larynx, and without yelling, screaming, or breaking into or flipping into falsetto. Gee, 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 gee. Now, both of these that I've illustrated, they're not finished products. They're not the finished sound that we're all aiming for, but it's the beginning. You know, I mean, if you've never done that before, it's like astounding. I was astounded when I first started doing that. I couldn't believe it. Here's another way. Well, that little funny exercise keeps the larynx down so that the resonance the tone can shift up and back down again and stay connected. It doesn't, it's not, you don't have to pull the chest voice to do it, and it keeps the larynx down so we don't crack or break. And so that's another wonderful exercise. Another reason why these exercises for pulled chest, high larynx are so amazing. Now, these are not all of the things that these exercises do, but this is fundamentally the reasons why they work, and I credit Seth Riggs for coming up with it. He figured it out, and for some reason the rest of the world hasn't, much of the world hasn't caught on to it, but it's the beginning of bridging, and that is going from chest into head, connected, with the vocal cords remaining together without pulling up the chest voice, without screaming it up, and then we keep building on that. After we get that connection, some amazing things begin to happen. So this is the reason. These are two major, gigantic reasons why the pulled chest, high larynx exercises work. You know, these are also used, several of these are used in the flip falsetto vocal type to counteract the tendency to break into falsetto. And of course they're used in the mix exercises because that's what we build on, and so we continue to use these exercises to help us get stronger and better and more accomplished, more balance in the voice, so that we really build that strength and power. All right, I've talked long enough. Every time I look over to out my peripheral vision, I see another question that's come on. So let me see if I can address some of these things. Let me just say hi to those who have joined us. Color Contact, hi, nice to have you here, and welcome. Say you've never been here before. Hopefully this wasn't so confusing, but that maybe gave you some ideas. And nice to see you with us. Brian, welcome. Majid, Mohammed, nice to have you with us. Daniel Abid, Camilo, Mangus, Jordan, hi. Cal TV, sorry, Crow TV, didn't see the R. Okay, Jet Quinn, nice to have you with us. All right, let me see if I can address some of these questions here. You're welcome. First of all, you're welcome. Many of you are saying thank you, Shah. Thank you. And so Muhammad says, thanks for discussing my vocal type. You know what, Muhammad? I would say probably 90% of the voices that I listen to are pulled chest, high larynx, because that's how we've tried to do it, right? So it's extremely common. It's my vocal type. That's what I tend to do. It's what I tended to do when I first started, and I still have to always be aware and keep working it. So for Colored Contact, just the vocal type essentially describes what I tend to do, or singers tend to do when they get to this area of their voice, like what we're calling today the bridge, this passageway that feels like the top of the voice but isn't. It's a passage to the upper voice, and it's a passageway that you can get there without cracking, without breaking in the falsetto, and without yelling through it. And so the vocal type describes what you tend to do when you get there. I tended to pull the chest voice and raise the larynx. Some people just break into falsetto when they go through there. So they're flipped falsetto, or in falsetto all the time. Oh, so they don't have a break because they're already broke. Their voice, the tone's already disconnected, or there's a light chest, no chest. They don't feel a bridge because their vocal cords aren't coming together firmly enough that the bridge even presents itself. So they tend to be light chest or no chest voice. And then the other vocal type is mixed for those fortunate, very, very few who just have this natural gift of being able to sing from bottom to top and stay in a blend of their voice and not have any issues there. It doesn't happen very often. So that's the vocal type. You can read more about it. I've got lots of information at powertosing.com. So Muhammad said, oh, well, I'm not sure about this, but hi, legendary teacher. I sing from D2, that's down here, to the G5. 5. Woo, that's way up there. In full voice. So what's my voice classification? It's unusual, that's what it is. I don't know, I'd have to hear it for sure. It sounds like you're a bass with some tenor notes, for sure. And they call that basso cantata, which is mine, my vocal type. I'm bass. I could sing down there on a good day, especially a Saturday morning. Don't sing there very often. That's my low E. I'm kind of scratchy today. So, but I've done G5, but I'm not in full voice, the G sharp 5, and I don't do it much anymore, and I don't do it in a song. But so I'd say basso cantata. Sound like a baritone on low notes and high tenor in the last head voice note. So please answer. That's my guess. That's my guess. So Daniel asked, can you tell me about glottal compression? How can I do it? What is glottal compression? Well, the glottis is where the vocal cords are. So what's stopping that? What's stopping it now? Well, it's compression, glottal compression. Subglottal is below the glottis, and I guess supraglottal is above the glottis. But if I were to hold back the compression of in my vocal cords, you know, if I kind of do a little cry, I think that's probably the fastest way if you want to build up compression is, of course, if you build up too much compression, you can't make any noise. There's a lot of compression, subglottal compression, or glottal compression, both. But you know what? I don't teach necessarily how to do that because I think a lot of people do it and don't want to do it. And it usually tightens everything up. I mean, it creates tension in the neck and in the vocal apparatus, you know. And then I've got to balance the air and the muscle of the vocal cords. Otherwise, it throws my voice out of balance, and then I get in trouble in other ways. So this technique really is about reducing the compression so that everything can function easily and freely, because then you can get to the real power in the voice. When there's freedom, when there's release, then these vocal cords here, they have the ability to balance with air and create some amazing, amazing sound. So if I said, mum, 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 that's the high A. Mum, 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 mum. There's no tension, and there's no subglottal or glottal compression at all. And I guess it depends on what you're going for, but there's tremendous power if we get rid of the tension and allow the vocal cords to do it on their own and not the muscles surrounding everything. So alto, when singing from ah to is it only the shape of the lips changing? Ah. If you say ah, and then say go to back and forth, the tongue is flatter in the back. The tongue begins to arch. So it does vary with the tongue positioning. Ah is more open, so there's more exposure to the hard palate, to the roof of your mouth. There's more exposure to the sound. And when I go to there's less exposure to the hard palate. So for us singers, that just means that the vowel is a little more narrow than the one previous to it. In this case, is a more open vowel, or sometimes it's called a wider vowel, and is a slightly more closed vowel, sometimes called a more narrow vowel. So it's the position of the tongue. Good question. Camilo, hi. I don't know if I said hi before, but nice to have you with us. Which of your videos should someone completely new to be singing watch? There's a new video I did just several weeks back. So I go to powertosing.com, and then I would look up on my YouTube channel. This is going to be the easiest way to find this. So I don't think it's numbered, but if you go to the home screen and click on videos, so let me just do that really quickly so that people can see it. And I'm starting to use this now. I did this video several weeks ago. If you go to the home screen on the YouTube channel, Power to Sing, and you look at all these are in order, I believe. Yeah, so they're added, date added. And if you come down here and look for begin here, to learn to sing higher. So it was done a month ago. This is the video right here. You see it right here where my arrow is. This is the one I recommend as a good starting point. I would watch that one. And if you watch that one and follow the directions, then it will be a big benefit to you and get you started on the right track. And it will talk all about vocal type, and there's a vocal test on the home screen. They'll tell you to go there, take the vocal test, and then in the Knowledge Center on the website, there are exercises. So I guess I shouldn't have left quite so soon. Let me go back to this screen. And this is a great question for everyone. If you haven't been there, if I go to powertosing.com, then on my home screen, there is a power test. It's a vocal test. It's what I call the power test because I'm powered to sing. And you can record so you start the recording, and then you sing to accompaniment, which plays for you here, men or women. Be sure and check this because it'll be different key. And then listen to it and then answer these questions. And so as you answer these questions, then you submit your answer, and you'll get your vocal type in an email. Or you can email it to me, and I'll listen to it. And then when you get your vocal type, then you come to the Knowledge Center, which is in the menu up here at the top. Go to the Knowledge Center, and there are videos for each vocal type. So let's just say it's pulled chest, high larynx. You would click on this one, and it will take you to a page with 3 videos. And it'll explain what pulled chest, high larynx is. I do exercises. For some reason, my thumbnails aren't showing right now. I think it's been a problem I've got to look into. But these videos will explain, and I'll show you the exercises. I'll show you exercises on these videos, and then you can watch a mashup of different artists who sing with a pulled chest, high larynx. They're not supposed to. It's the reason why several of them have had surgery. Adele, she's in there just hemorrhaged. It's because she pulls her chest and has a high larynx. Anyway, come back here, and you can download the exercises, men or women. It's free, no charge. Don't even collect your email. And that might change someday, but exercises for pull chest high larynx. They're exactly the ones that I show in this video right here. Okay, so I hope that helps you. That's that video that I showed you, begin here, will explain that process. Okay, now let me get back to questions. That's a great question. Thanks for asking. Yeah, nay, nay, nay is going to be in there. Colored contacts says LOL, nay, nay. Magnus, hey Chuck, what would you say is the indicator that our vocal cords are strengthening? Huh. Well, that's an interesting question. If I have a... Well, first of all, I'm going to just talk about feeling. You start to feel they're strengthening. You start to feel they're more stable, that they're not wobbly. A good indicator is of the vocal cords being balanced is your vibrato. If you have a nice even vibrato, even and steady, then that's a good indication that they're strengthening. What is an indicator that they're not would be if you're doing an exercise and they easily come apart into falsetto, or if they feel, let me see, if there's a break someplace in them, or you feel unstable. So it would be something like nay or ma 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 ma. If it's a little bit ma, in other words, you have a hard time sitting into it easily. Ma 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 ma. But if you're doing it and you say ma 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 ma, if you can't find that stable feeling, then you know they're weak. But if you start to feel stable, I guess is a good word. Ma 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 ma. If you can go from ma 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 ma, that's 1.5 scales. Ma 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 ma. That's 1.5 scales through 2 bridges. You know you're getting more. You're getting the vocal cords are getting more strength, and I think maybe as an important part of strength is coordinated. You know, you can be. Let's just look at like a power muscle, you know, power lifter, or someone like that. That's just like they're strong. I mean, they are strong, but they're not coordinated. I mean, that you can be strong and not be coordinated. So it's not just about strength. It's about coordination. It's about balance. Air between the air coming from the lungs and the vocal cords themselves. Are they balanced? Are they, or is there too much air? Or there's too little air? And all these different things come into play, so that you've got this balance to be able to do it well in chest, to do it well in the bridge, to do it well in head voice, and everywhere in between. That's when you know. But it's not just strength, it's coordination also. And also there's times and moments there you want them to feel as if there's no effort in singing. I think that's when you're really strong and really coordinated, when there's this release, there's just this freedom in your voice. That was kind of esoteric, but anyway. Jordan asked, do you have or could you make a table or a cheat sheet for how to narrow each of the vowels? Yes, Jordan. It is available. So if you'll go on my website again, I can show this to you quickly. Let me just pop back over to the website. And many of you may be looking for this exact thing. If I get back to the Knowledge Center, if I come to the Knowledge Center, if you go to the, click on the Knowledge Center and go to the right-hand side here, you'll see this category of topics. And then go down here and look at vowels. And if you click on a vowel modifying, okay, this will bring up 6 different videos that I've done about vowel modifying. And so if I just scroll down here, I don't see it yet. Let's check out the other 2 videos. And it says how to sing vowel modifying hacks. Okay, this vowel modifying hack right here, if you click on this, this is this whole thing is about what you're asking, and there's a free PDF that you can click on this and download a hack sheet. Okay, hopefully that answers that question, and it's a great question. So that's helpful. And I think that will do the trick for you. Okay, great question. Okay, where are we here? Hi, Patricia Patino. Nice to have you with us today. Mangus asks, what would you say are the best exercises to strengthen the vocal cords? All of the exercises, every single exercise that I give is to address a vocal type. And so depending on your vocal type, I would say those are the best exercises to use. And they will strengthen, balance, coordinate the vocal cords. So another good question. If you're light chest, no chest, I would say probably, if that's your vocal type, then the exercises for light chest, no chest would be ideal. William, hi William. Nice to see you. And Trigus, or Traigus, nice to have you with us. I don't recognize your name, so nice to have you. Well, let me address William. Just hit the C5 without sounding like a squad car emergency. It works. Hey, cool. All right, way to go. My falsetto disappears all the time. Why is that? I don't know what you mean by that, because are you talking about falsetto or head voice? If your head voice, so by disappearing, I'm guessing that you're just not getting any sound at all. And it probably is because the larynx is rising and it's squeezing off the sound. And so as you go higher, you can't make any sound at all. So I'm guessing it's probably a pulled chest, high larynx kind of situation. And I would have to hear exactly, but I would recommend that you if you haven't taken the power test that I showed a minute ago on the home screen, do that and see. It's likely going to be pulled chest, high larynx, and the exercises will help you get your head voice back. Now falsetto, and you'd have to look at the difference. Falsetto is a break in the voice. It's a break in the tone. Head voice, there's no break. So it's all connected. And so I just teach how to do that. I don't teach how to do falsetto because I don't need it, because I can do it in head voice. And so can you. Each of you can. Singing in puberty is just so difficult. Amen. Amen. My father is a well-known singer. Cool. Nice to have you with us, Crow TV. The very difficult, tough time for boys, especially. Girls' voices don't change as much. So they have relatively, but for the boys, our vocal cords get longer and thicker, and the voice drops significantly. And most of us are locked out of the top. And then to try and put it all together again is a challenge. You can do it for sure with the exercises that I teach, but it's, I would say, maybe almost twice as hard, but it's very possible to do. So don't give up on yourself. Again, you can go to my website, to the Knowledge Center, search for Teenage Boy, and I've got a video just for the teenage boy. Oz, I use a semi-dopey sound which works well for the transition. What would be the sound we expect to attain in the end through that journey? When do I know? So in any of these that I've showed you today, when you're able to do them, nay, 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 if you can do it connected, without any tension, without any squeeze in it, fairly well, and you get used to that, then the nervous system begins to accept it. So now try it a little less or dopey. Let's do it on the dopey. That's not quite as dopey as so you may start out like that, but go then a little less. A little more normal. Got to be careful the larynx doesn't come up, which it did at first there. Change the vowel to g g g g g g g go 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 go. Do a different vowel combination. No 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 no. Mum 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 mum. The concept is go more and more normal with more and more normal words and less ratty or less dopey sound until it's pretty normal going through there. That's how you get to the more normal sound. I wish you could do it in a day. Most of the time it takes us a lot longer than that, but that's how you do it. And what sound will we expect to attain in the end through that journey? You know what? The question is open. I don't know if I'm to the end of my journey. I'm hoping that I'm 64 years old. I'm hoping that I can maintain what I have and do even better as I age, which we can in this technique. So, but I don't think I'll ever be at my peak that I was, let's say, when I'm 25 to 35 or 40 or something like that. But I think that for me, when I reached what I felt like was something really good is when I could use it in a performance and use it easily and not be afraid of any note and sing any note that came my way and get many, many more parts. I do musical theater. And so for you, I think it would be that you can do your genre, you do it really well, and sing any note you want. That's what I think you've really gotten there. Now, how much better can it be? I don't know. I think it can just continually improve over time. Okay, that's a good question. Interesting. So I'm just about out of time here. If you practice these exercises every day, would you be able to do the gi thing with in the fifth octave? Not necessarily. You know, I mean, in the fifth octave. In the fifth octave. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. So yeah, I mean, yes, it depends on your vocal, on your where you can. You know, if you were a basso profundo, you know, I wouldn't say yes, but typically I think that that's pretty realistic. If I said that's the D5. E. F. F sharp. That's the F sharp. That's the G. G5. So the answer is yes, I can, and I can sing the low E. Not today very well, but So I would say there's a good possibility you can. Agostino Marino, do you feel some stretching feeling when you stay in mix? You know, it's an interesting feeling. Yeah, I mean, when you go up, the chord structure is tensing, and the chords are getting longer. So there is that feel. I don't know if I would describe it as stretching as much as I would, or not. So, but yeah, there's some adjustment to it. Now the thing is, you don't have to sing louder when you sing higher, because the chords are thinning. I mean, they're being stretched, so there's not as much. They're just thinner, and so I don't have to push as much air. And so I would say, really, I don't necessarily feel a stretch. I don't necessarily feel a stretch. I don't feel it. So I'm going to say that it's kind of subjective. And I know that the chords are lengthening. So psychologically, intellectually, I know that they're stretching and tensing. I don't know that I necessarily feel that, though. Is there a certain feeling in the vibrations in mix and head voice that I will feel to know if I'm singing in those styles? Well, if you put your hand on your chest, you can feel the vibration when you're in chest. But when you're in head voice, you don't feel any vibration in chest. So you know the vibration's up here. I don't, especially early on, I didn't really feel vibration in my head. Interestingly enough, on some gees, I can feel it kind of vibrate or tickle my ears. I think it's different for everybody. So I wish there, if there was something standard, I think it'd be easier. I don't think it's different. Shah Zayeb, I am confused about the exercise. Is it like, sir, I am but confused. I'm sorry. I'm confused about the exercise. Is it like the muscles should not force the thumb? I'm trying that, but my muscle still comes against the thumb. The voice gets tight as well, I guess. It says right, but now, so if he's talking about this exercise here, if I say, if I swallow it, this muscle here pushes my thumb out of the way. What this is designed to do is to help us poor people who pull our chest voice and the larynx higher, is to not have the larynx go up anymore. And so one exercise to do that is to do it with kind of a little bit of a cry or a little puppy dog sound, or however you want to describe it. So when I first started doing that, my larynx came up all the time. I learned how to do it just through practice over and over again. Do it soft. You can do it on the E. I would say don't even do the E, just kind of little, like, It's all done right here. So the larynx hasn't had to move to do those. Okay, so we're over time. How many more do I have here? Let me see. Hi, Austria. Oh, you're Crow TV in Austria. Cool. Okay. How do we get rid of any of the thin, tinny sound from the vocals and have it more rounded? Trigius. It's difficult to understand exactly what you mean by the thin, tinny sound. I don't know for sure what that sounds like. Generally speaking, if the larynx goes up, it gets thinner and tinnier. Nay, 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 nay. I don't know. But one thing I do know is if I can increase the length, the space from here to here. With that dopey sound, I do get, there is a different, I get more overtones in my voice. So generally speaking, if the larynx stays down at speech level, we get rid of the tinny, I'm going to say a tinny sound, or a very thin sound, or it's lacking some of the lower overtones of the voice. And so I would say a good exercise for that is anything in the dopey sound. Because now I'm increasing the distance from here to here. So it goes, if this is a higher larynx, if I do dopey, now it's a little bit deeper. And so that's a good way to practice, to retrain ourselves to get away from this kind of sound. But again, I'm not teaching people how to make sounds. I'm teaching balance in the voice, and that will come. Get the larynx down to where you speak. That's why it's called speech level. Well, I guess I better wrap this up. I'm sorry I can't get to every single person here. Mohammed asks, after maintaining a good transition without any break or yelling and keeping a neutral larynx in our bridge, so what should come next to keep the good transition, stand still without going to the, you want to make, so really what we want to do is we want to have vibrato in all of this area that you described. So vibrato, nice, even, vibrato in all of the chest, middle, and head. You want to be on the right pitch, right? So the pitch has to be really, really solid. And that should happen with that balanced voice. And then you need to be able to do it on a melody, in a song, on all the different vowels, and all, vowel consonant combinations, all the different words that we have in the bridges and the first bridge. And if the first bridge is working, then we need to go to the second bridge. Now we start working on the second bridge. And if the second bridge is working, who knows, maybe now the third bridge, especially the women. The women's third bridge is the E, F, F sharp above high C. That's the E5. And there are songs that they do that come there. And if you get the first three bridges intact, then, wait a minute, sorry, that's the second bridge, ladies, sorry. The third bridge is the A5. B flat, B, C6, that's your third bridge. C sharp, you're all the way through. So you just keep progressing to the next bridge. If everything is like solid down below, then you keep working for that next level of in your voice. Isn't it wonderful? Okay. Well, anyway, thanks. So Glenn, thank you. Thanks for joining us. Says he appreciates it when he heard of the high larynx and the pulled chest. How long do you have to do dopey exercise in order to improve? That's from Camillo. Camillo, if you can, I do them. I still do them. So even if I have improved through the years, but I do it just to. It's relaxing. It's a good warm up. So I don't know there's a time limit, but if you're asking how long does it take to connect my voice so that I'm not breaking, you should be able to do it in the first lesson or second lesson. Now, how long is it going to take before you can do it without thinking about it? And that's a habit? Yeah, that's going to take a little bit longer. But I'd say, for me, it took about 6 weeks to be able to start singing this. Well, let me see. I'm not sure about 6 weeks. I guess 6 weeks when I started really being able to do it in vocal exercises. I know that I sang a song 6 months afterwards with an F in it, and an F sharp or a G, and so it, as far as like being confident enough to do it the first time, for me, it probably took like 6 months, and that's when I started auditioning for shows again and stuff like that. Okay. Rosba says, I'm bridging a mixed voice. I can do it well, but my voice is not deep and strong in the mix. How can I fix it? Keep working for the balance between the air and the muscle. Keep eliminating the tension. No tension in the voice, and it will come around. It takes a little while to do that. Okay, I've got to wrap this up. Thanks everybody for joining me, and thanks for hanging around. We went 55 minutes today, and I appreciate your coming and joining me. I'm Chuck Gilmore with Power to Sing Live. This is number 43. It's been great to have you in the broadcast today. Please subscribe to my channel. Come over to powertosing.com, take a look around, and take the power test we talked about, and subscribe to the vlog. We'd love to have you there. So I do this, I'll release a video on Friday, although it was late this week, usually by Friday, and I do these every Tuesday at on the hour where we started. And this is the kind of stuff we do. I'll present some information, then we'll do a Q&A. So thanks for joining me. I wish you all a great week. You can sing higher with beauty, confidence, and power. I'll see you inside the next video. Thanks.